Kung Yun Tan says, Shorka, can you add a cape animation to a Hellscream model or add wings to a Jaina model? So what we're going to do now is we'll just go ahead and do that. We can absolutely do that. So we're just going to go into Org Campaign. We're going to get a Hellscream model and we're going to give it a cape. Let's do it. Let's give it a cape. So here's our guy. He's looking pretty good, but he does not have a cape. So let's give him the cape of somebody else. Who has a good cape, right? That's really the question. I was kind of thinking, you know, Arthas has that Arthas cape. Maybe we'll just give him Arthas's cape, right? So this shouldn't be very difficult. Basically, I'm just going to go to select like connected group. Yeah, and then we'll just deselect everything that's not the cape. So we're pretty much just looking at his cape right there. Yeah. Alright. So then what you do is you invert, so you delete everything that's not the cape. So now I have a cape model, so I can go back to Hellscream and I should be able to just run an import from this cape model that I just created and just give him that cape. That ought to work pretty easily. Let's see. Basically, we'll start off, or at first we probably want to leave out a lot of this stuff. Although the key here, I guess, is going to be that we want to really time scale these things. So like stands should probably line up. I think stand first and second on Arthas we don't want. Then we have attack. Attacks should line up. Death should line up. Stand victory. Grom has no spell, but he does have attack slam. So I mean, maybe we could assume that that'll kind of match. Stand channel, we could try to put on attack walk. Stand spin for now. Oh, actually, Grom does have stand first. That's an interesting point. Sure, we'll give him that. Stand first and second. Third, fourth. It probably won't actually look good in those animations, but we probably don't care. Stand hit, we don't need. Dissipate, can line up. Walk can line up. Alright, great. So, generally, we do want to import that cape object. Here's the cape object. Now, the key is going to be the way these things are linked, right? So, we got to use, where it says Arthas's chest bone, we got to put it on Hellscream's chest bone, because it's got a link to the correct place there. Now, as far as I see, most of these are linking, and this is what nodes the cape is attached to, right? It shows us a little picture of the cape and a yellow dot for like which node we're looking at, and so this is just giving me the ability to recharacterize how the cape animates, to animate with regards to the Hellscream model. So then something like where it attaches to Arthas's arm, we actually want it to then attach instead to the Hellscream arm. So we're going to give that arm 1 right from Hellscream. And we'll do the same here with the left arm. We're going to give it arm 1 left from Hellscream. So the cape is now going to be linking to Hellscream's arm. This is like left and right arm. And the other key is going to be that the cape's node structure needs to actually change, that it needs to link to Hellscream's bone chest here. So now what we should see is that we have a whole bunch of Arthas bones being imported into the model, and if I click uncheck unused, all the Arthas nodes will be gotten rid of pretty much. We can see that somewhere one of these cape meshes or something is still actually linking to the chest of Arthas. So we've got a little bit more work to do. There's something we didn't find here. Yeah, it looks like this one. Okay, we got arm 1R, but we also need to get this Hellscream chest bone up here. Take that out. Sorry, I took out the wrong one there. We'll take out Arthas's chest, but we do want arm 1 or up arm 1R that I accidentally deleted for a moment there. So we'll put that back. So we have both the right and left arm of Hellscream there. That ought to give us where uncheck unused button. We'll now clean out everything except the cape nodes. So now we just have cape animation. We'll be bringing in that cape animation, and we probably wanted to use the same visibility settings as the main body of this guy. So there's his axe, and there's his body. We could probably use like Geoset 2 then for his body. Oh, which it looks like it's just always visible, really. Geoset 2 is just always visible. Alright, well we'll just make the cape always visible then. That ought to be good. So as you can see now, we've brought in the cape onto Grom, and it has the animations of Arthas's cape. So like when he's walking, it does the animations of like Arthas's actual cape animations, and yet links correctly to his back. Now of course the key here is going to be, if you want to be particularly careful with a lot of this, you may want to move the cape, and you want to move it right after you import it, when all the nodes are toggled on, so I can see like how the cape animates, and I'm moving those points of animation to make sure that they don't get corrupted or separated from the actual shape there. So you could try to, maybe scale it up a little bit, make sure it fits Grom, depending on what your goals are and what you want your cape to look like. And you might actually, maybe you want to like stretch it a little like there, and hopefully that should look pretty good, right? Actually, let's widen it back. Let's try the wider cape. It seems pretty good. I'm still thinking it looks like maybe it would fit better on his back if it were higher up. Well, okay, so like that's too high, right? Like now it's like too high up. So we really want it to be like about here, perhaps. There you go. I mean, that's starting to look pretty good. So I guess ideally, if I was like the model author making this, you probably want some kind of expanded shoulder pad or something that explains why the cape is there, right? But as far as just strictly giving a cape to Grom, generally I think this should work. You can see like during attack his cape is moving, and it's using Arthas's cape animations, right? But it still kind of moves around there. Like attack slam looks pretty good. It does some interesting things in like stand 4 and stuff like that. And like we saw before during walk, just because of Arthas's cape walk, it's moving there. Yeah, and like attack 2, kind of floats around. Stand ready looks pretty good because it's consistent with stand ready with Arthas. It's also true of like stand victory there. And attack walk, stand spin, it's doing something in there, right? So I think it's using Arthas's stand channel. So of course the only problem here is it looks like dissipate got broken. I'm actually really not sure why dissipate got broken. That's not supposed to happen at all. Is that part of my software? Does it just break dissipate on Grom? Or did I actually go in and break that? I didn't think that I broke that. Let's see. Dissipate. That's really curious. That's really something. Alright, so generally speaking, a lot of what we did has worked here, but it does look like we've somehow broken the behavior of dissipate, and that I'm not exactly sure why. Let's try doing a save and load. Sometimes that'll fix issues like this. There are a couple visual bugs in my model renderer, so I want to be sure it's not a visual bug. So let's just say Grom with cape. We'll save that model and we'll open it back up just so we can be totally sure that the dissipate bug is really in the model and is not a visual bug. Yeah, that's okay. It's different now than it was before, but it's very real. I'm really interested in that, considering that the rest of his model looks good. If I go back to the real one, you can see it definitely understands dissipate. Is there something about the animation that's not capable of being understood? Oh, that's interesting. It broke. It broke as soon as I tried to even look at it. There's something crazy going on here. Wait, let's open them right back up again. And I'm gonna save Grom basic. And I just want to open Grom basic. And I want to see. This looks like this might just be that my software can't handle this model anymore. And I'm actually really, really interested in that, because that should not at all be true. For my curiosity, I'm going to try putting Grom with the cape into the game. I had some map open here. And let's just see if Grom with capes looks that bad in game also, or if it's fine. Let's see, Grom. We're going to make Grom with a cape. So, I mean, we're 90% of the way there, right? We've created Grom, and he has a cape, and he looks cool. But I'm just not sure about that dissipate animation. It looks like something got corrupted there. So it's sort of not totally relevant to the cape, right? If you had a custom model based on Grom, maybe it would be fine. But let's have a look in game and see when we kill him if his dissipate looks bad. It's hinting at like it might do that bug where the model. So you can see, generally speaking, we've created this cape Grom, this Grom running around with a cape on, and that's pretty much working. But let's see if I make like make a little army and kill him. If that causes his model to bug out, which it looked like it might.
My life for the Horde. My life for the Horde. My life for the Horde. Time to die.
Alright, let's see. Cape Grom. What does your dissipate animation do?
has fallen.
It looks pretty good in game. Yeah, it might just be a visual bug and something about how my renderer works. It's really interesting. I mean, it means I need to fix my renderer. But generally speaking, I think that means the model should be fine. So, like, if you follow this same technique on your end, like, it'll still work, even if you're using, like, the older version of the program or, like, any of that. Yeah, and here in game, it looks fine. So I think it's really just it's just a visual bug in my software display. So with that said, I think we could sort of call this a victory that we've definitely added an animated cape to Grom. So the next question that was asked here was, can we add wings to Jaina? So let's do that. Let's go ahead and get campaign Jaina. Now, I don't really know like what kind of wings you would want. Maybe we can get Dragonhawk Rider wings, right? Those might look pretty good. So we'll get ourselves this Dragonhawk Rider. Generally, I think what we want to do then is just like delete the guy and all that stuff. So it's just the wings. Yeah, we'll get that. Get him out of there. Just a pair of wings. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick that pair of wings on Jaina. Let's see. So generally, that ought to be pretty doable here. If I go back to Jaina and I import from the wings, right? It's a very similar process, right? You just bring in the thing and you stick it on the other model. We do a time scale behavior so that we can get everything to line up. Sure, we'll just link the stand. If for an animation like stand channel, if I don't click anything to bring the wing animation into, right, it'll just ignore it. So I think that should be fine. So we pretty much have it there where the animations should be lined up. Now let's go ahead and see about attachment nodes here. So it looks like the naming conventions are terrible, absolutely terrible in the Dragonhawk Rider. Sometimes this happens where you get one where you can't exactly tell what anything is because the names are terrible. So the key here is going to be right at the base when this attaches together. What do I do? That's what I want to do. I'm trying to get my hotkeys right. 24, 32, 17, 22, 9. 24, 32 are attached to bone 1 and bone 2. 17, 32, 9. 17. So yeah, I think generally this is 24, 32. It looks like we're gonna have them link onto Jaina. So Jaina has Archdruid animations. So Jaina, we're gonna link it to it's like chest, Jaina chest, and then we want to do the same thing with what this used to link to bone 1 and 2 if they're still in the linkages. I'm not sure they are. Let's do an uncheck on used here. We do have something linking to bone 1 still. So we mentioned 17, 16, what was the other number? Or 17, 22, and 09. Mesh 09, mesh 17. That's object 17. See, that's the key. You got to get the difference between mesh 17 and object 17. So I mean, this is like 15, 19. Here we go. So bone 15 is linking to bone 01, and it needs to link to Jaina's chest. Let's see if there's anything else here. It's like bone 19 linking to bone 0 root needs to be Jaina's chest. That should be pretty good as far as that. So I think we should be good there. If I click unchecked on used now, maybe the root will be. Oh, the root is still not gone. Well, that's really interesting. Let's try to find, is there anything else? It means then that we'd have an animation bug, right? If I can click uncheck on used and I see that it's still using that data, it means that something's not linking how I thought it was. So somebody is linking to bone 1. Oh, it's this guy, bone 11. Okay, I thought I fixed whoever was linking to 1. I only fixed one of them. Alright, so bone 11 needs to link to Jaina's chest also. Now we hit uncheck on used. Now we can get rid of bone 1. Great. So everything in the Dragonhawk's wings is now linked to Jaina's body, right? And that's pretty important. Otherwise, this wouldn't look good. So we got that. Now, if we go to Jaina, let's make sure our visibility is linked to Jaina's body. So if she ever disappears. Alright, so her body's geoset 1. So we could just link this to... It looks like Jaina's always visible, so we'll just use always visible on that, I guess. Great. So you can see we bring in the wings here. Now, of course, we want to toggle them to visible, grab them, and then be able to drag them up. And it actually looks like the wings have a node in them that maybe we don't want them to. I'm curious. But it might be fine. Let's try it. I'm noticing that thing that looks in the, it's kind of centered there. So here we got some wings for Jaina. Now, of course, one of the keys that we probably want to do is make sure that they fit pretty well. Maybe we'll make them a little smaller. And I guess the other thing you'd want to do, probably, is to actually angle them a little bit, right? And so this is a little dangerous because it might affect the animations, but generally speaking, I'm hoping it should look pretty good because you really probably want those wings kind of angled out of her back as opposed to just like directly flat with how they would be. So we'll see if that looks good. If it doesn't look good, we might hit Control-Z a bunch, try to put them back. But let's give this a shot where we angle them out of her back, so it just kind of looks more human that way, like a real person who really has wings. Great. So we put that in there, and now we have Jaina who should have some wings. Now let's see. Yeah, so she's kind of like flapping her wings, right? Just like who we took them from there. And if you get like walk, then it's doing the actual walk animation that came with the wings. So if you wanted to be like, depending on what your goal was, maybe you would have the wings continue to flap during walk and just the same sort of flapping. Let's see. Yeah, so there you have like stand victory, right? Where her wings are doing the same stand victory that came with the wings. There's like attack, spell. The wings are trying to do their own spell animation, kind of like that. Let's see, dissipate, they kind of disappear. So I would say probably the only thing really here that we might even question how it looks would be walk. And so if you want, right, what you can do is you can import again, just to like fix walk. Sorry, Dragonhawk Rider, right? Import again, and you make sure you click like leave everything. Except in Bones, you just do motion from all. So we basically do a transfer. And that should then give us the ability to say, well, I want stand to play during walk, so the wings keep flapping just like they do in stand, just because it fits Jaina better. We do that, and then we can override effectively our walk so that the wings are kind of doing a little flap animation in walk, just like they do in stand, so that Jaina looks a little bit more healthy there. So then we can go ahead and save this as Jaina wings. And last time I forgot, but this time let's give Jaina wings a portrait, just so it looks good. So we can see that in game. Jaina with some nice wings there. Let me just go ahead and import Jaina wings. Jaina wings. Portrait. Great. Save, and let's get Jaina. Great. And we'll give it the Jaina wings model. And we should be able to pop that in here, and now we got wing to Jaina. Of course, those are really flappy wings. You could control those animations to be whatever you want. But it's kind of fun if you have flappy wings, right? I don't really know what a person's gonna look like if a person has wings anyway. So here's wing to Jaina, and as you can see, like during the spell animation, oh, Jaina doesn't do her spell animation. Jaina, you're terrible. Does she do the spell animation when she summons water elementals? She better. Let's give her a level 10 there so we got all the abilities. Alright, here we go. Here's Jaina. And now we should be able to get all the abilities. So we can cast things like Water Elemental. And see that the wings do sort of animate during a spell cast there, right? So, let's see. Yeah, we got some like wing animations there, right? There it is again, like little wing animation. Yeah.
I'll check it out.
So, it's kind of a curious thing. And, this is something you can improve upon if you have a particular goal how you'd
I'll
want
check
the
it out.
wings to look
I'll
on
take care of
Jaina, or how you want them
Sounds
to
nice.
animate, how you want them to behave.
I'll check it out.
But generally speaking, right, we've got some animated wings we stuck on there that seem to be working, doing things. I'm still curious that Jaina doesn't animate during Blizzard, but I don't think that's my fault. I think that's
Sounds
Blizzard.
interesting.
Yes,
Sounds
So yeah,
Sounds
there you
interesting.
go.
I can wait no longer.
We gave Grom a
What's
cape
the
and we gave Jaina
I'll check it out.
wings, and both of them are animated. So I hope you have a good day.